we're gonna put the attention all on Rosalyn Fung, and she is no stranger to the attention because she has done it all and been everywhere. She is a beautiful light. She's an Akashic visionary, life and business soul coach, a facilitator and trainer of Flourishing Life Coaching Certification Program. She's a speaker. She's an author. She's absolutely fabulous. Rosalyn, thank you for being here tonight. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you, love. Thanks so much for having me. I feel like seriously honored and mind blown that you've asked me to be one of the speakers for the new platform here. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Actually, can I make everyone turn on their camera? I would love to see all your beautiful faces, and have you show up. Yay! Hi, Chrissy. Nice to see you. Hi, Tammy. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh,
awesome.
I can seriously feel all your energy as soon as you turn on your camera. Doesn't that make such a difference? Hi, Abby. I just want to take a moment. Like, my heart just went, whoo. Can feel all your energy. So thank you. So
beautiful. So in some aspects, Rosalyn, maybe there's some kind of alignment or similarities with your story and Mandy's. Although you weren't a nurse, you were a psychologist.
Yes.
Where did that shift happen from you, for going from a psychologist to being a coach and living your true, authentic, beautiful life?
Oh, long story short. Yeah, so actually, Mandy, you and I would have totally collaborated back when I was a psychologist because I specialized in eating psychology. And why? Because you learn what you need to teach. And I really struggled with food and body image myself. So much so that I went into the rigid routine of becoming a bodybuilder. And not in a healthy way. And it is, I believe that people can do it healthy. I know people who do. But back then, I think that the mentality that I got sucked into was the majority of the mentality of the consciousness in that, lack of, I should say. And it was very much like no pain, no gain. And for me, it was like I kept striving and striving and striving to have this perfect fitness model physique. And when I competed, this would have been back in 2008, I had this, we'll say, quote unquote, perfect body. I got my perfect body, all right. But behind closed doors, I was totally miserable. I could not think of anything other than what to eat, when to eat, how do I keep this stomach as flat as possible. I hated my stomach. And I just never felt like I was there. I totally couldn't see what I was seeing in the mirror. And I was just totally beating myself up and emotional eating, binging, feeling guilty, beating myself up, and then purging through over exercising. And this had been a cycle for a really long time. So when I was on stage competing, I'm like wearing this fake ass smile. And I was in so much pain. And I came last place that day, which really was devastating for me. And that led to my breakdown, if you will. And of course, what is a breakdown? It's another word for spiritual awakening. I was not very spiritual at the time. I did not even know what that was. My head was cut off from my I have no idea what that was. And so I was led to, I was a psychologist at this time, and everything looked perfect on the outside. Okay, so I was just got into private practice as a psychologist, something I had also been working really hard and long for. I was a second-degree black belt in karate and a role model kids, teens, and adults, and I was happily married, I still am, to the same man for 3 years at this point in time. So everything looked perfect on the outside, quote unquote. But yeah, and I realized as I got into this method called Haikomi, which is what I'm certified in now. It's a somatic approach. And it means, how do I stand in relationship with myself? And how do I stand in relationship with others? Because we're always in these relationships. And so I realized, because when you're learning something, you cannot not work on your own stuff. And I realized that I was unconsciously operating from this belief that I'm valued in my doingness. So my achievements, my performance, my status, all of that, rather than my beingness, who I am. And my doingness never felt enough. And so I was this overachiever, this, of course, perfectionist, and this hardcore type A personality. And I knew it wasn't working anymore to be in this, we'll say, belief system. And I learned how to come home to myself, embrace the art of slowing down, and embrace perfectly imperfects. So I also got certified in eating psychology and then became the go-to psychologist. I was in Edmonton at this time. And in that, I was so inspired by my clients and their transformations. They were former versions of me, of course. And I knew there was something more I wanted to do for impacts. And so I became the first psychologist in Alberta to create an online program and sell it, which was a lot of red tape. But if I knew there was a way to do it, because I knew other psychologists in the States that had done it. I'm like, okay, we're going to make it happen. You can probably tell I'm a bit of a badass and a trailblazer. So I figured it out legally and ethically, and that opened up more doors. So for me, it was like, that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But you know when you like feel that feeling inside? And at this point, I've become a little bit more like, because I've been doing Haikomi, so I'm much more connected heart, mind, body. And you just feel that feeling inside. You're like, I don't know what this is, but I just have to follow it. I just have to follow it. Even if it feels scary, I gotta follow it. And so more doors opened. I got my first international speaking gig. This would have been back around 2016. Got on a magazine cover for a women's fitness community. Did not diet. And I totally had like a post mama belly, and I celebrated that by wearing a sports bra. Because remember, stomach was what I hated the most in my life, even though I had like abs. And I wanted to celebrate. Like, you can love yourself no matter what shape, no matter what size you are. You can love yourself, and love yourself, like Mandy says, includes nutrition, right? Includes, but not in a. It's about the mentality. You know, like, we can behave a certain way. So I may nowadays still eat as if I'm bodybuilding, but my mindset is so different. It's so different. And there's no food drama. There's no food prison mindset anymore. It's just like, yeah, I'm choosing this because I want to nourish my body. I deserve this because I love myself. And it's not about what I look like or what I, what size or weight I'm at. It's because this is my home, and it's the only home I get right now in this lifetime. And so I need to take care of my temple. And so being able to create this buzz, we'll say, how to flex your self-love muscle. I got a lot of requests for people around the world wanting to work with me, and I couldn't because I'm licensed. And so I continue to do my inner work to this day. I think it's very important, and spiritual work. And so during a group coaching program, me as a participant through integrity seminars here in Edmonton, I was in level 2, and I want to work on my mindset, because I'm like, my money mindset. I'm like, I feel like maybe I'm not seeing something, to keep expanding my wealth, keep expanding my business. I was not a coach yet at this time. I'm still a psychologist and thinking there's still a way to do something here. And I manifested energetically a 7-figure award-winning business coach as my accountability buddy. And I was like, well, shit, you can't make this stuff up. And so, of course, she was there for her own personal development, became very good friends. And I ended up hiring her biggest, scariest investment at that point in my life. And I started my self-love coaching business, which also was very challenging, still licensed. And so, because if you're a psychologist, you're always a psychologist. And so it really had to navigate through this and try to figure it out. And my coaching business just grew so quickly. I realized I was attracting women entrepreneurs who wanted me to help them get out of their own way, show up, create their business and life of their dreams. So I'm like, yeah, I could totally do that. And so unintentionally, I knew I was in this internal conflicts with myself. Do I stay licensed and stay with a successful private practice, which I also loved? I love my psychology clients. Or, go big, which is kind of like, I still feel like I'm starting all over again. And it's a totally different vibe as a coach. So I had to work through a lot of my inner critic around, because, new level, new devil, right? Like you are starting out, like, why would you start all over again? You've gone through all this schooling, you have this, you've earned it, like you're really going to let go of this successful practice and start all over again. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And ego was pretty big here. I didn't realize how much of my identity was wrapped up in my titles, which is like, you are going to give up your psychologist title to be just a coach. Like, I was super like ego right there. And I was just like, okay, well, yeah, that's kind of demoting myself, says the ego. And the big one was my Asian parents. Like, we strive, and Nikki probably knows this, right? Like, we strive for like achievement status. And it's like, what are my parents going to think if I do this? Like, they did think I'm crazy. They actually thought I was brainwashed. They thought my coach was brainwashing me. And yet the stirring inside, despite the fear and being part of a community, my coach, my mastermind, just being part of a community where people are where you want to be or going where you want to go, huge. That was everything. It's like, I'm sure most of us know this, but you are the reflection of the 5 people you hang out with the most. And so we want to be hanging out with people who are going where we want to go or where we want to go. And so I would say, luckily, that was very important, because we can make all this progress and gain, but if we don't have the environment, the community, unfortunately, environment always wins. So it's really important to be surrounding yourself. This is why it's so great you're here, to be inspired, to be activated, to be moved, so that you can continue moving forward in your life and your business, if that's where you're at. So, and then I took Deanne's Akashic Record session last year. Oh, no, it would have been 2 years ago, I believe. My gosh, I've been doing this for a year. And that elevated me to that next level of soul ascension. And it's been incredible being able to bring in the Akasha and the energy work with my clients, with the business coaching strategies of client attraction and soulful selling. But yeah, I ended up letting go of my license when it was time to renew. No big deal. I did it. So I've been in my business now for about 4.5 years. I was a self-love coach for the first year and then shifted into more business coaching after that. But self-love, spirituality, personal development is always the foundation. So I still get to take all my wisdom from my background and put it in as the foundation.
Beautiful. So you've clearly done so much work in terms of body, mind, and soul to get you to this place, to where you are. And let's be honest, it's not easy, right? Like, we go through
a lonely journey. It can be. Ascension is really hard, and it's like shifting our beliefs. Even I just moved to Kelowna in September. You guys, that was so hard. I was crying like a baby. I had a whole year to be like, okay, let's get okay with this, Roz. The reason my husband and my kids moved here was first lockdown of COVID. Dan, who's a certified financial planner, and he's with IG Wealth, he's certified across Canada. Him and I always have talks about retiring in BC or Hawaii. What's the difference? And so we thought, we don't actually need to wait. Like, we both have laptop lifestyle. Like we could do this. And so I could feel my high self be like, yes, that would be amazing being close to mountains and water. And I can feel my ego self be like, no, this is my home. I want to stay here. My like soul sisters and brothers are here. My family's here. My childcare, what's going to happen with my childcare? So anyway, yes, I really had to work through a lot of, let's say, all the stuff that was coming up for me around loss, around grief, around anything egoic. Oh my God, attachments. I did not know I was a secret hoarder, you guys. Like my parents, I'm going to put them out. I don't think they're clinical hoarders, but it's like, I don't know. I think it's like the Asian mentality, right? You're like collecting all this stuff. I don't know, Patrick, Nikki, if you guys can relate with that with your parents. Yeah, okay. So I'm just like, oh my God, I'm never going to be like my parents who can't use half their big house. No. When I'm moving, my girlfriends are over helping. They're like, Roz, in the nooks and crannies of everything was like, I'm hoarding essential oils, old makeup. Like I hoard books. I know that that's not a secret. Clothes I haven't worn in like 10 years. I'm like, oh, I'm a hoarder. I'm just secret about it. So had to work on detaching more. Oh, so that was quite the process.
The time goes by so fast, but I have one question that I want to ask you, and then we'll open it up to the audience for Q&A. If there's one word that you can leave the audience with to help inspire them again on their wellness journey, no matter where they're at, what would that word be?
Okay, let me tune in. The message that's coming through right now is to take yourself, like whatever challenge you're having right now in your life, whether it's in your life, your business, in a relationship, with your health, your relationship with yourself, in whatever way that is, go into your high self, your seat of your soul, right? And then be an observer to yourself here with curiosity, with neutrality as much as possible, and just watch and stay curious. And then don't be so serious. Like I feel like we can get so serious in our life, we forget that that's what takes away our ability to be creative, to be playful. When we're in this tapped in energy of creativity, of playfulness and experimental attitude as we approach our challenges, that's where the wisdom is. I really believe that's where the medicine is. It's like, okay, well, what are all the possibilities? Like my word this year, and feel free to also infuse this word into your business, is it's like limitless. So I watch myself and how I'm parenting and what I'm saying to people. And am I perfect? Heck no. What's that mean anyway? Right? I'm not perfect now. But I'm like, it's like, what part of me is speaking about that right now? Or how do I want to respond? Taking care to respond in a way that feels aligned with opening up a new possibility, but playing with something here. Notice how your automated behaviors are, and stay curious. I wonder where that comes from. Why do I do that? So be playful.
Beautiful. I love that word. I love that. Playful. Opening it up to the audience now. If you have any questions, again, put them in the chat in all caps. We're going to take a couple of minutes here for Q&A for Rosalyn. Rosalyn, of course, we need to know how people can get in touch with you. And as we're doing that, I just want to let everybody know to stick around to the end because Rosalyn has a very special treat for us. Yay. So if there's any questions, pop them in the chat. Rosalyn, how can people get a hold of you?
So I'm very active on Instagram and Facebook. So it's me in the DMs. You can always chat with me in there. Bold Sexy Warrior is my Instagram handle. And then on Facebook, it's Rosalyn Fung, personal account.
Awesome. And we do have a question here. How were you able to stay on track when you came up against barriers? How were you able to stay in your lane, stay in the flow?
Stay true to your vision. What is your big vision? And it's really important to bet on yourself. Like if there's anybody that you need to bet on, it's on yourself. And what helps me is also having mentorship. For me, to have somebody see outside of me, because I got blind spots, right? And so it's really important for me to be able to have that mentor, that coach, to be able to reflect back. And for me, to actually call myself out when I notice the ego coming up. And sometimes we just need that support, right? And it's what helps me stay on track, is being with a mentor in a community as well. Like I said, environment is really, really important.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So we're going to shift gears just a little bit. As I said, Rosalyn's coming forward with a beautiful special gift for us. One of her many talents is light language. So Rosalyn, just take 30 seconds to tell us what light language is, and then, you know, another minute or so to help us heal today.
Okay, beautiful. And I just dropped my freebie. It's a sacred visioning journaling guide, if anyone would like to have that. Okay, so light language is language that comes from divine source. Mine's very connected with galactic energy, Palladian specifically. And it's a planet of love, star system of love. And it bypasses your brain, your cognition, and your soul will understand it. So it's soul language. The purpose of light language is to, depending on where you are at in your life, it will help clear anything that needs to be cleared. It will help heal whatever needs to be healed on a light code, soul DNA level. It will also help you activate and amplify your soul's purpose more. So I bring this more into the Akashic records as well. I'm known as abundance warrior, so people have had large sums of money 24 hours after our session. So if you want to book in, you can do that too. But what I'm feeling called to do is to bring in light language for healing. So I'm going to invite you to tune into something that's a little bit of a struggle. You know, there's always a spectrum, but some sort of challenge that you're having or conflicts that you're having right now, whether it's with yourself internally or in a relationship or maybe something in your career. And so as you tune into that, I invite you to set the intention for the highest truth and good to come through this so that it can be shifted, realigned, and recalibrated. So just breathing in, expanding your breath, and then just a cleansing breath out. And as you drop your breath more and more, relax your body, opening, ready to receive. Breathing in again from your belly, heart, all the way through the top of your head into the cosmos. And then just exhaling, dropping more and more of whatever's not serving, supporting. And opening, receive this light codes of healing coming in. Morakura tira kira tira kura tia mora kira kia kura tia marakia. Clearing anything that's in the way of your path, your highest path. Morakura tira kura tinira kira kura kia sira tu mira kia sira kura tia. Morakura, balancing, aligning. Maratira kia sira kura tira kura. Mirakia Sirakoratia. Kuan Yin energy is coming in. She's the goddess of self-compassion. It's this beautiful white light with a little bit of pink circling around you and in through your crown, all the way through your core, right through to Mother Earth. Morakia Sirakoratia Narakoratia. Breathing in. And out. And so just notice the sensations in your body. You might notice it feeling a little trembly, or You might notice it feeling a little lighter, a little bit more clear. Your core might be more solid. You might notice some emotions coming up. There's no right or wrong, or you may notice nothing, so that's okay too. Just laying whatever feels good, whatever good means to you, aligned. Breathing into that in your body. Just letting all of this beautiful process settle. And then seeing what image or word comes up to help keep a piece of this process, experience that feels good for you here. So it might be the word love, gratitude, hope, whatever that word is for you right now. Let that be your close. And then when you're ready, just very slowly and gently start to bring your awareness back out here. Just be careful, it might be a bit bright, so you might notice things might look a little bit more crisp and clear. Maybe a little blurry for some of you. Drink some water if you can.
That was absolutely amazing and phenomenal, as always, Rosalyn.